Number 14, so again, allegro molto, so faster than the usual allegro. Notice that in the left hand we're playing triplets. So a triplet means that we're dividing the beat into 3 equal parts. So in 3/4 time, of course, like say if we have 1, 2, 3, this kind of beat. So if I was doing quarter notes, that'd be 1, 2, 3. If I divided the beat into 1/8 notes, 1 and 2 and 3, and that sound like that. But in this case, we're dividing the beat into 3 parts, and we get what we call a triplet. Okay. So when you see the 3 written on its side, written in italic, that means a triplet. And of course, we can divide the beat in other ways. You'll see that later on in this book. I wanted to go over the notes on the ledger lines a little bit more. Remember, we're trying to memorize that at the top of the treble clef with 2 lines. That is high C, this C here. So for instance, in the first full measure, that's C, and hopefully we've memorized that by now. And just to remind you, at the bottom of the bass clef, with the 2 ledger lines, is also that C. So that's a helpful thing to memorize. So let's look down at measure 11, and then we know right away that that note there is a D, because it's right above where the C is. So we're playing a D with our 4th finger. Now what interval do we have next? A 6th, right? So that's how we would read that note on the ledger line there. And then I'll just talk quickly about what happens after that. I'm going to start from measure 11 again. Now, I have a G with my thumb, 3rd finger on C. Now thumb on C, because it helps me to get up there. So the procedure in this book, if we're playing the same note several times, we will either use the same finger if the next note is in the same hand position, but if we have to move to a different hand position, the repeated note is the ideal time to do that. So watch that again. I'll just start from 11. Changing to a different hand position on the repeated note. Okay? And of course there are times when we might want to change finger, even if we're not changing to a different hand position. Like if we're playing very fast repeated notes, often we alternate different fingers, 3-2-1 or 4-3-2-1. So let's play this through. 1, 2, 3. Again, the piece ends with a measure that looks like it doesn't have enough beats in it, but it's because the piece began with an incomplete measure as well. So it begins with a measure that has only 1 beat, so that's subtracted from the last measure. So we call that, of course, a pickup note at the beginning. We usually play pickup notes quietly or gently, and then the note on the beat is going to be where the accent comes.